The Alpha King's blood pooled black beneath the moon, and the three rogues circling him wore smiles that promised worse than death, until a child's scream shattered the night, carrying a scent that made ancient wolves drop to their knees. Cale Thornridge had ruled the Northern Territories for 15 years without mercy, without weakness, without ever taking a knee to another wolf. Tonight, he knelt in dirt and his own blood, wolfsbane burning through his veins like acid. Disappointing, Victor, the largest of the three rogues, circled him slowly. The great Alpha King. We expected more of a fight. 3 years of planning. Senna, the female rogue with scars crossing her face, laughed. 3 years of watching your patrol routes, learning your habits. Did you really think we didn't know about the Harvest Moon ceremony? That your precious elite guard would be too busy drinking ceremonial wine to notice their king missing? Cale's vision blurred. The cut on his shoulder, shallow, meant to weaken not kill, pumped poison with every heartbeat. His wolf raged inside him, strong enough to tear through all three rogues on any other night. But wolfsbane was the great equalizer. The northern packs will fracture without you, the third rogue, a thin man named Darius, said. We'll take the territories piece by piece. No more Alpha King. No more hierarchy. Just the strong surviving. Cale's claws dug into the earth. He'd die before he let these mutts destroy what generations had built. He'd die fighting. He probably would die. Tonight. The thought came with a strange calm. 3 miles away, Myra's calm had shattered an hour ago. Lily. Her voice cracked as she shoved through the crowd outside the tavern. Has anyone seen a little girl? 4 years old, dark curls, please. The neutral zone on the Harvest Moon was chaos, wolves from different packs drinking, fighting, celebrating. Nobody cared about one more desperate Omega. Lost your pup? A drunk Beta sneered. Maybe you should watch her better. Myra's hands shook. She'd been scrubbing floors, turned her back for 2 minutes, and Lily had vanished. Her daughter knew better than to wander. Lily was always so good, so quiet, understanding without words that they had to stay invisible, stay forgotten. The border woods, an older woman said, not unkindly. Saw a little one heading that way, chasing something shiny. Mira ran. The border territories were forbidden to Omegas. Dangerous. Rogue activity, territorial disputes, worse things. But Lily was 4 years old and alone and nothing else mattered. She crashed through underbrush, thorns tearing her already ragged dress. Lily. Baby, where are you? The scent hit her first. Blood. Wolfsbane. And underneath it, the massive signature of alpha power that made her wolf whimper and bare its throat. Oh God. Oh no. Lily had been following the butterfly for forever and ever. It was the prettiest thing she'd ever seen, silver wings that sparkled like Mama's special necklace, the one she kept hidden in the floor. The butterfly danced just out of reach, leading her past trees and rocks and into a clearing where the moon was really, really big. Then she saw the big wolves. Lily froze. Mama said to stay away from wolves when they were in their other shape. Said some wolves were mean and would hurt little girls who couldn't protect themselves. These wolves looked mean. One was on the ground, dark red everywhere. 3 others stood over him with teeth showing. Well. One of the standing wolves shifted, bones cracking, until a scary lady stood there instead. Look what wandered into our party. Bonus prize, another one said, and he was shifting too. A pup. Young enough to train. Might be useful. The third wolf moved toward her, fast, and Lily did what Mama always said to do when she was scared. She screamed. But this time, something else came out too. The light exploded from her chest like Mama's old lantern breaking, but brighter, silver white and burning. It hit the mean wolves and sent them flying backward into trees with horrible cracking sounds. Lily stopped screaming. The light was gone, but her chest felt warm and tingly and wrong. The wolf on the ground, the hurt one, was staring at her with eyes that glowed gold even in his human skin. He was the biggest man she'd ever seen, all muscles and scars and blood. His face was hard, like the soldiers who sometimes came to the tavern. But he wasn't looking at her like the mean wolves had. He was looking at her like she was the scary one. "Impossible," he whispered. "Lily." Mama burst through the trees, wild-eyed and panting, and Lily had never been so happy to see anyone. "Mama." But Mama wasn't running to her. Mama was running between her and the big wolf man, arms spread wide even though she was shaking so hard her teeth chattered. "Don't touch her." Mama's voice was small but fierce. "Please. She's just a baby. She doesn't understand what she did." The big wolf man tried to stand, stumbled. His shoulder was really hurt, cut deep and still bleeding. "Your daughter. That child is yours. Please." Mama was crying now. "I'll do anything. Just don't hurt her. She won't tell anyone what happened here, I swear. We'll disappear, you'll never." "Quiet." He held up one hand, though Lily noticed it was shaking. "I'm not going to hurt her. I'm going to save her life." Behind them, groaning, one of the mean wolves, the scary lady, was getting up. Her arm bent wrong and her face was bleeding, but her eyes found Lily and went wide. "Trueblood Luna," she breathed. "The child is Trueblood Luna." The big wolf man moved faster than hurt people should move, putting himself between them and the mean wolf. "Run, Omega. Take your daughter and run. Now." "But you're..." "I said run." The alpha command hit like a physical force. Lily felt Mama's wolf submit instantly, helplessly, and then Mama was grabbing her hand and dragging her back toward the trees. "The child," the mean wolf shrieked. "We need that child. Do you know what power?" The sound of fighting exploded behind them. Mama didn't look back. She ran like the bad things were chasing them, because they were, pulling Lily so hard her arm hurt. They'd almost reached the tree line when another wolf landed in front of them, the thin mean man, grinning with blood on his teeth. "Not so fast, Omega. That's a very valuable pup you've got there." Mama shoved Lily behind her. "Stay back. Do you even know what she is? What her blood could do?" He circled them slowly. "A Trueblood Luna hasn't been born in over 200 years. Her power could break alpha bonds, reshape pack structures, make or destroy kingdoms. She's 4 years old," Mama said. "She's a baby who doesn't understand any of this. Please. Just let us go." "Can't do that." He lunged. Mama screamed and Lily felt the warm tingly feeling building in her chest again, but before the light could come out, something massive hit the mean man from the side. The big wolf man, except now he was a huge black wolf, had the mean man by the throat. Even wounded, even poisoned, he was terrifying. The mean man didn't get up again. The wolf turned to them, blood dripping from his muzzle, and Lily felt Mama's whole body go stiff with fear. But the wolf just looked at them. Looked at Lily specifically. Then he shifted back, bones cracking, skin stretching, until the big man knelt there in the dirt, barely conscious. "Your daughter," he said, voice rough, "is in more danger than you can possibly imagine. Every rogue, every power-hungry alpha, every wolf with ambition will hunt her now." That power signature was felt for miles. Mama's arms tightened around Lily. "What do you want?" "To keep her alive." He coughed, more blood. "The wolfsbane was winning. And to keep my territories from falling into chaos while these rogues regroup and plan their next attack. We need each other, Omega. I don't even know who you are." A bitter smile. "Cale Thornridge. Alpha King of the Northern Territories." His gold eyes fixed on Mama. "And unless you want your daughter hunted by every wolf in the continent, you're coming home with me. We can't. Not a request." He swayed, caught himself. "It's the only way she survives. The only way any of us survive." In the distance, howls. More wolves coming. Friends or enemies, Lily couldn't tell, but Mama's face went white. Decide now, Omega, the Alpha King said. Run and watch your daughter die before her 5th birthday. Or trust the monster you know over the hundreds you don't. Mama looked down at Lily. Her eyes were wet and scared and full of love. Baby, I need you to be very brave. Can you do that? Lily nodded, even though she was shaking. Mama turned back to the Alpha King. If you hurt her, then you can kill me yourself. He held out his hand, blood-stained and trembling. Do we have a deal? The howls were getting closer. Mama took his hand. Wanting to see what would happen next, subscribe to this channel to get to listen to more of our upcoming exciting stories. Click on the subscribe button now. Thank you. Chapter 2. The Alpha King's hand was cold in hers, his grip weakening with every second that passed. Mira felt the moment his legs gave out, caught him, or tried to, his massive weight nearly dragging her down too. Lily, help Mama, she gasped. Her daughter grabbed Kale's other arm with small hands, and together they lowered him to the blood-soaked ground. The howls were closer now. Much closer. Kale's eyes snapped open, gold bleeding to black. Vex, he growled. The 3rd rogue. He's. A whistle cut through the air. Mira jerked her head up just in time to see the thin man, Darius, crumple with a throwing knife in his throat. The scarred woman, Senna, was already down, neck broken at an unnatural angle. But the largest rogue, Victor, was gone. No, not gone. Running. Mira caught a glimpse of gray fur disappearing into the forest. Vex, Kale corrected, his voice barely a whisper. Victor is the muscle. Vex is the brain. He's the dangerous one. He tried to stand, failed. He'll come back for her. He'll bring an army. Stop talking. Mira pressed her hands to his shoulder where the wolfsbane blade had cut deepest. The wound was black around the edges, poison spreading through his veins in dark tendrils. She'd seen wolfsbane poisoning once before, years ago, when a warrior had been ambushed near her father's healing house. That warrior had died screaming. You need a healer, she said, hating how her voice shook. A real one. I can't. Do what you can. His hand shot out, gripped her wrist with surprising strength. Keep the child close. When my wolves arrive, stay silent. Let me do the talking. Your wolves. Panic clawed up her throat. How many? Enough to protect you. Not enough to guarantee they won't ask questions. His eyes locked on hers, and for a moment she saw past the Alpha King, past the monster, to something almost human. Almost afraid. Trust me, Omega. Please. Mira had learned long ago that trusting alphas got you nothing but pain. But Lily was pressed against her side, trembling and small, and the howls in the forest were getting closer, and she was so damn tired of running. My name is Mira, she said quietly. If I'm going to save your life, at least know my name. Something flickered in his expression. Mira, he repeated, like he was tasting it. Then his eyes rolled back and he went limp. Mama? Lily's voice was so small. Is the big wolf dying? Not if I can help it. Mira tore strips from her already ruined dress, hands moving on instinct, on half-remembered lessons from childhood. Her father had been a pack healer before the drink took him, before everything fell apart. She'd learned enough. She had to have learned enough. The wolfsbane was the problem. It spread like rot, shutting down his system from the inside out. Even an Alpha King couldn't heal if the poison reached his heart. She needed to draw it out. But how? She didn't have the herbs, the tools, the knowledge. Lily's hand touched Kale's chest. Baby, don't. Silver light bloomed under Lily's palm. Soft this time, not the explosive burst from before, but steady. Warm. The black veins around Kale's wound began to recede, slowly, the poison pulling back like something alive and afraid. Lily, stop. Mira grabbed her daughter's hand, pulled it away. You can't, that's too much power, baby, you'll hurt yourself. But he's sick, Mama. The bad stuff is hurting him. Lily's eyes were silver white, glowing like the moon. I can make it better. I can feel how. No. Myra's voice cracked. No, baby, I need you to stop. Please. The light faded. Lily slumped against her, suddenly exhausted, and Mira caught her daughter close, pressing kisses to her dark curls. It's okay. You did so good. But no more, understand? No more power tonight. But the damage was done, or the healing, depending on how you looked at it. The black veins had retreated several inches, and Kale's breathing was stronger, steadier. He'd live. God help them both, he'd live. Mira worked quickly after that, cleaning the wound as best she could with torn fabric and dew from the grass, binding it tight. Her hands knew the movements even if her mind kept screaming that this was insane, that she was tending to the Alpha King like he was any other patient, that her daughter had just used Trueblood Luna power to heal the most dangerous wolf alive. The howls stopped. Myra's head snapped up, every instinct screaming danger. The forest had gone silent. Even the insects had stopped chirping. Then she heard them. Footsteps. Many of them. Moving fast. Lily, behind me. She positioned herself between her daughter and the tree line, knowing it was useless, knowing she couldn't fight off whatever was coming, but unable to do anything else. The wolves that emerged were nothing like the rogues. These were warriors. Massive, well-fed, moving in perfect formation. Their fur was marked with the symbols of the Northern Territories, 3 slash marks across the shoulder. Elite Guard. The Alpha King's personal protection. They surrounded the clearing in seconds, a dozen sets of eyes fixing on Mira with laser focus. One wolf shifted, bones cracking, reforming, until a tall man with copper hair and cold gray eyes stood before her. He wore the leather and silver of a high-ranking beta, and the way the other wolves deferred to him told Mira exactly who he was before he spoke. Step away from the Alpha King. His voice was ice. Now. He's been poisoned. Mira didn't move. Wolfsbane. He needs a healer. I won't ask twice, Omega. Reese. Kale's voice was rough but commanding. Stand down. The beta's head whipped toward his king. Relief flashed across his face, there and gone in an instant, replaced by suspicion. My king. Thank the moon. We've been searching. When you didn't return from patrol, his eyes narrowed. Who is this Omega? What is she doing here? Kale pushed himself up on one elbow, and Mira saw the effort it cost him. She saved my life. Stabilized the wolfsbane poisoning until you arrived. Convenient. Reese circled them slowly, and Mira fought the urge to grab Lily and run. The Alpha King just happens to be ambushed, and an Omega just happens to appear to save him. There were 3 rogues, Kale said. Victor, Senna, and Darius. The bodies are here, check for yourself. Senna and Darius are dead. Victor escaped north. Victor. Reese spat the name like poison. That bastard's been terrorizing the Western Territories for months. You're saying he ambushed you? With help? They knew my patrol route. My schedule. Everything. Kale's jaw tightened. We have a spy, Reese. Someone in the inner circle. The temperature in the clearing seemed to drop 10 degrees. The warriors shifted restlessly, exchanging glances. We'll discuss this at the palace, Reese said finally. He turned to Mira. You. Omega. What's your name? Mira. She lifted her chin, refusing to show fear even though her heart was hammering. I work at the tavern in the neutral zone. I was looking for my daughter when I heard fighting. Your daughter. Rhys's eyes found Lily for the first time, and Mira saw the exact moment he sensed it. The power. The rawness of a child who should be ordinary but very much wasn't. His hand went to the knife at his belt. She's under my protection, Chaol said, and there was no weakness in his voice now, only command. The child and her mother both. Anyone who touches them answers to me. Rhys froze. My king, if there's something about this child. There is. Chaol managed to stand, swaying only slightly. When he looked at Mira, something passed between them. An understanding. A terrible, binding bargain. Which is why they're coming back to the palace. Immediately. No. No, no, no. We can't, Mira said, trying to keep her voice steady. I have work, responsibilities. You have nothing. Chaol's tone was flat. You're an Omega working in a neutral zone tavern, which means you're packless. No ties, no protection, no one who will miss you. You and your daughter will come to the capital as my guests. Guests. The word was a blade dressed in silk. And if I refuse? His eyes locked on hers. You won't. It wasn't a threat. It was a fact. An Alpha King didn't make requests of Omegas. He gave orders, and you obeyed, or you died. Mira looked down at Lily, who was watching the exchange with wide, frightened eyes. 4 years old. 4 years of keeping her safe, keeping her hidden, moving from place to place whenever anyone got too curious about the quiet little girl who sometimes made lights appear when she had nightmares. 4 years, and it was over. Done. The moment Lily's power had exploded in that clearing, their old life had ended. How long? Mira asked quietly. As long as necessary. That's not an answer. Chaol stepped closer, and Mira caught his scent fully for the first time. Pine and winter ice and something darker, something that made her wolf whine and press against her skin. Alpha. Pure, undiluted alpha power. The rogue who escaped will spread word about your daughter, he said, low enough that only she could hear. Every wolf with ambition will come hunting. Every pack that wants to overthrow the current order. Every rogue who thinks a true-blood Luna is their ticket to power. His eyes bored into hers. You can run, if you want. Take your child and disappear into the wilderness. Maybe you'll last a week. Maybe a month. But they will find you, Mira. And when they do, I won't be there to stop them. Her hands clenched into fists. So my choices are imprisonment or death. Your choice is survival. He turned away, addressing Rhys. Get a healer. I want this wolfsbane purged before we move. And send a message to the palace, tell them to prepare the East Wing guest quarters. The East Wing? Rhys's eyebrows shot up. My king, those rooms are reserved for. I know what they're reserved for. Chaol's tone could cut glass. Do it. Rhys bowed, but Mira didn't miss the suspicion in his eyes as he looked at her. He didn't trust her. Smart wolf. She didn't trust herself either right now. The healer arrived within the hour, a stern older woman who took one look at Chaol's wound and started cursing. Wolfsbane. Of course it's Wolfsbane. Do you have a death wish, my king? Apparently. Chaol sat still while she worked, his eyes never leaving Mira. It was unnerving. The intensity of his stare, like he was trying to solve a puzzle. Mira kept Lily close, sitting far enough away to seem unthreatening but close enough to run if needed. Not that running would help. They were surrounded by elite warriors. She was so focused on planning impossible escapes that she almost missed it. The moment Chaol inhaled deeply, scenting the air. The moment his entire body went rigid. The moment his eyes snapped to hers, gold flaring bright with shock and something that looked like horror. No, he breathed. The healer paused. My king? Get out. His voice was strained. All of you. Now. But the wound. Get. Out. The healer fled. The warriors exchanged confused glances but obeyed, backing away to the edge of the clearing. Only Rhys hesitated. My king, if something's wrong. Give us privacy, Rhys. That's an order. Rhys left, but his suspicion had crystallized into something harder. Dangerous. Mira stood slowly, pushing Lily behind her. What is it? What's wrong? Chaol stared at her like she'd grown a second head. Your scent. I couldn't smell it properly before, the blood, the wolfsbane, it masked everything. But now, he cut himself off, his expression twisting. Lavender and honey. With an undertone of, he stopped. Started again. When is your daughter's birthday? The question was so unexpected that Mira answered before thinking. March 15th. She just turned 4. Why does? She saw him do the math. Saw the exact moment he counted back 4 years and 9 months. Saw realization dawn like a nightmare. The crescent moon gathering, he said hoarsely. 5 years ago. There was a meeting of the packs in the Eastern Territories. I was there for 2 days. His eyes locked on hers. Were you? Myra's heart stopped. 5 years ago. The crescent moon gathering. She'd been there with her father, newly designated as his apprentice healer. She'd been 23, naive, still believing that pack life could be good if you just worked hard enough. There had been a bonfire. Too much wine. A stranger with gold eyes who'd smiled at her like she was something precious. One night. One stupid, reckless night with a wolf whose name she'd never learned. No, she whispered. It's not possible. Your daughter. Lily. Chaol's voice was rough. I need you to answer me truthfully. Who is her father? I don't know. The words came out broken. He didn't tell me his name, I didn't ask, it was just one night, I never saw him again. What did he look like? I don't, but that was a lie. She remembered. God help her, she remembered every detail. Tall. Dark hair. Gold eyes. A scar across his left ribs from a silver blade when I was 16. Chaol lifted his shirt, showing the exact scar she'd traced with her fingers 5 years ago. A rogue attack in the Southern Territories. The world tilted. No, Mira said again, but there was no conviction in it. You can't be. Your daughter is 4 years old. Born 9 months after the crescent moon gathering. Chaol's hands were shaking. And she has power that shouldn't exist in a normal bloodline. True blood Luna power that requires. Royal blood, Mira finished, her voice hollow. The old texts say it only manifests when royal alpha blood combines with ancient omega lines. Your bloodline. Chaol stepped closer. What pack are you from? Originally? Silvermoon. But I left. My father was just a healer, we weren't important. Silvermoon. He laughed, but there was no humor in it. The pack founded by Luna Evangeline, the last confirmed true blood Luna before the bloodline supposedly died out. Your father was a healer, which means he had access to bloodline records, which means he would have known if you carried dormant Luna genes. Everything was clicking into place. Terrible, impossible pieces of a puzzle Mira had never wanted to solve. My mother, she whispered. Before she died, she told my father to keep me hidden. To never let anyone know my full bloodline. I thought she was just being paranoid, protective. She was being smart. Chaol's voice was gentle now, which was somehow worse than anger. Because if anyone had known you carried Luna bloodline genes, you would have been used. Bred like livestock to try to resurrect the old power. But I don't have power. I'm just an omega. A dormant carrier. The power skipped you but manifested in your daughter. His eyes found Lily, who was peeking out from behind Myra's skirt. Our daughter. Don't. Myra's voice cracked. Don't call her that. You don't get to, you're the Alpha King. You didn't know I existed until an hour ago. No. I didn't. Something raw crossed his face. But I know now. And that changes everything. It changes nothing. Mira grabbed Lily, held her close. We're still leaving. We're still. You're my fated mate, Mira. The words hung in the air like a death sentence. The bond snapped into place the moment I scented you properly, Cale continued, his voice low and urgent. I know you feel it too. The pull. The recognition. She did. God help her, she did. That strange draw toward him, the way her wolf had settled the moment he'd taken her hand, the inexplicable trust she'd felt despite knowing exactly what kind of monster he was. Fated mates. The rarest bond in wolf culture. Unbreakable. Inevitable. Impossible. No, Mira said. I reject. Don't. His hand shot out, stopped just short of touching her. Don't say those words. Please. I know you have every reason to hate me, to run, but if you reject the bond right now, in front of my warriors, it will show weakness. It will make you vulnerable. I'm already vulnerable. Not like this. Not in ways you can't imagine. His jaw clenched. There are rules, Mira. Laws. If my pack knows I found my fated mate and she rejects me, they can challenge my right to rule. They can challenge your right to live. Then we'll leave before. Rhys already suspects something. He saw my reaction. The other wolves will have sensed the bond by now. It's too strong, too new to hide completely. Cale's eyes blazed. You're trapped, Mira. We both are. The moment the bond snapped, it sealed our fates. Lily tugged on Myra's dress. Mama, why are you crying? She hadn't realized she was. Mira wiped her eyes roughly, trying to hold herself together for her daughter. For the little girl who didn't understand that their lives had just been stolen. Come to the palace, Cale said quietly. Let me protect you both. We don't have to, he swallowed hard. The mate bond doesn't have to be completed. You can have your own quarters, your own life. But please, let me keep you safe. Safe. Mira laughed bitterly. Is that what you call this? Prison with prettier bars? I call it the only option that ends with you and our daughter alive. Our daughter. He kept saying that. Like it was real. Like he had any right. But he did, didn't he? Whether Mira liked it or not, Lily was half his. Royal alpha blood flowing through her veins, giving her power that would either save her or destroy her. If I agree, Mira said slowly, I want your word. Your alpha's word. That no one will hurt Lily. That no one will use her. You have it. And I want freedom. Real freedom. Not just a nice room and guards at my door. Within reason. And I want, her voice broke. I want you to promise that if there's ever a way out of this, a way for us to leave safely, you'll let us go. Cale's expression shuddered. Mira. Promise me. A long pause. Then, I promise that I will always prioritize your safety and your daughter's safety above everything else. Even my own desires. Even my crown. It wasn't what she'd asked for. But it was, she sensed, the truth. Okay, Mira whispered. Okay. We'll come to the palace. Cale's shoulders sagged with relief. Thank you. Don't thank me. I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing it because I don't have a choice. I know. He turned away, called out to his warriors. Rhys. We're ready to move. The beta appeared instantly, his gray eyes sharp. My king. Is everything settled? The Omega and her child are under my personal protection, Cale announced, loud enough for all the warriors to hear. Anyone who questions this answers to me directly. Understood? A chorus of, "Yes, Alpha King," echoed through the clearing. Risa's gaze slid to Mira, calculating. "Of course, my king. Though the council will want to know why you're extending such unusual protection to a Packless Omega. Then the council can ask me directly." Kale's tone could freeze fire. "Prepare for departure. I want to reach the palace before nightfall." As the warriors scrambled to obey, Kale turned back to Mira one last time. "This isn't how I wanted this to happen," he said quietly. "If I'd known about Lily, about you." "But you didn't." Mira cut him off. "And it doesn't matter. What's done is done." "No." His eyes held hers, intense and haunted. "What's done is just beginning." Somewhere in the forest, a howl rose. Long and mournful and full of promise. Victor, no, Vex, the rogue who'd escaped. Already spreading word. Already gathering forces. Already coming for her daughter. Mira held Lily closer and followed the Alpha King into captivity, wondering which would kill them first. The wolves hunting them from outside, or the ones waiting inside the palace walls. If you're still listening to this story up to this point, why don't you subscribe to this channel to continue getting impactful daily stories like this? We would be most grateful if you can do that to help boost this video to reach everyone. Thank you. Chapter 3. The east wing of the northern palace was beautiful in the way a frozen lake was beautiful, stunning and cold and hiding dangerous depths beneath its surface. Mira stood at the window of their assigned quarters, watching the sun rise over manicured gardens and marble fountains, and felt like she was suffocating. The rooms were larger than anywhere she'd ever lived. Silk curtains, plush carpets, furniture carved from ancient oak. A bedroom for her, a smaller one for Lily, and a sitting room that could fit the entire tavern she'd worked in. A prison didn't stop being a prison just because the bars were gold. "Mama, look." Lily bounced on the enormous bed, her dark curls flying. "It's so bouncy. Like clouds." At least one of them was happy. A knock at the door made Mira tense. She'd been here less than 12 hours and already she'd learned to dread that sound. It meant someone wanted something. Information, compliance, submission. "Come in," she called, keeping her voice steady. The woman who entered was not a servant. She was tall, willowy, with honey blonde hair swept into an intricate braid and eyes like cut sapphires. Her dress was deep burgundy silk that probably cost more than Mira had earned in 5 years. Power radiated from her, alpha power, carefully controlled but unmistakable. "So you're the Omega." The woman's voice was cultured, educated. The kind of voice that had never scrubbed floors or begged for work. "I've been curious." Mira lifted her chin. "And you are?" "Lady Seraphine Blackwater. First daughter of the Blackwater Pack, and the Alpha King's intended." She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "Though I suppose that's in question now, isn't it?" "Intended." The word hit like a slap. "I don't know what you've heard," Mira started, but Seraphine waved a perfectly manicured hand. "Please. The entire palace is buzzing with gossip. The Alpha King returns from near death with a mysterious Omega and child. Places them in the East Wing. Quarters reserved for family. Declares them under his personal protection." Her smile sharpened. "It doesn't take a genius to put the pieces together." "Then you're putting them together wrong." "Am I?" Seraphine circled the room slowly, examining everything with a critical eye. "Let me tell you what I see. An Omega with no pack, no background, no notable bloodline, or so she claims. A child with unusual abilities that somehow manifested at just the right moment to save the Alpha King's life. And now both of you are installed in the palace, protected by the most powerful wolf alive." She stopped in front of Mira. "That's either remarkable coincidence or carefully orchestrated manipulation." "I didn't manipulate anything." "No?" "Then explain why the Alpha King can barely look at you without his control fracturing. Why his scent changes when you're near. Why he's refused to see me, his intended, since returning, but has checked on you and your daughter 3 times in the past 12 hours. 3 times. Mira hadn't known that. She'd felt him though, felt that strange pull, that awareness of his presence even through walls and doors. The mate bond, Kale had called it. Something she'd never been taught about, never expected to experience. Something that was apparently visible to everyone with eyes. I don't want to be here, Mira said quietly. If I could leave, I would. Then leave. Seraphine's voice turned sharp. Walk out the door. Take your daughter. I'll even provide an escort to ensure your safety. It was a trap. Had to be. The Alpha King said. The Alpha King is confused. Compromised by whatever bond he thinks he feels. Seraphine leaned closer. But bonds can be broken, Omega. Especially ones that threaten the stability of the entire Northern Territories. My pack has been allied with the Thornridge line for 3 generations. Our union would secure peace, strengthen borders, unite the 2 most powerful packs in the north. What do you offer? Weakness. Distraction. A child whose power will mark her as a target for every enemy we have. Lily is 4 years old. Lily is a weapon. Seraphine's eyes were cold. And weapons belong to whoever can wield them. Right now, you're keeping her from her full potential. From proper training. From understanding what she is. Her voice dropped. I could help her. Protect her. Give her the education and resources she needs. All you have to do is step aside. Step aside. Myra's hands clenched. You mean abandon my daughter? I mean give her a chance at a real future. With me as Luna of the Northern Territories, she would be untouchable. Safe. Powerful. With you? Seraphine shrugged. You're a liability. To her, to the Alpha King, to everyone. The words cut deeper than they should have, because part of Mira knew they were true. What could she offer Lily? She had no power, no pack, no resources. Just love, and in the wolf world, love wasn't enough. Get out, Mira said. Excuse me? Get out. Mira stepped forward, and something must have shown in her face because Seraphine actually retreated. I don't care who you are or what you think you deserve. My daughter is not a weapon. She's not a tool. And she's not yours. For a moment, real anger flickered across Seraphine's perfect features. You're making a mistake, Omega. The Alpha King's protection won't last forever. When it fails, and it will, you'll have nowhere to run. She swept out of the room, leaving a cloud of expensive perfume and unspoken threats. Myra's legs gave out. She sank onto the edge of the bed, shaking. Mama? Lily crawled over, her small face worried. Are you sad? No, baby. Mira pulled her daughter close, breathing in her scent, milk and honey and something indefinably Lily. Just tired. The pretty lady was mean. Yeah. She was. But the big wolf isn't mean. Lily tilted her head. He's sad. Like you. Myra's breath caught. What makes you say that? I can feel it. When he's close. His heart hurts. Lily pressed a hand to her own chest. Right here. Like something's missing. The mate bond. Even Lily could sense it. Before Mira could respond, another knock sounded. This time she recognized the heavy, authoritative cadence. It's open, she called, too tired to care about protocol. Reese entered, his copper hair pulled back, his gray eyes sharp. He wasn't alone, 2 guards flanked him, hands on their weapons. Mira Thornridge, he said formally, and she hated how her name sounded with Kale's surname attached. I need you to come with me. The Alpha King has questions. I already told him everything. Not him. The Council of Alphas. Reese's expression was unreadable. They've demanded an audience. Ice flooded her veins. No. I don't have to. It's not a request. His tone softened slightly. I'll ensure your daughter is watched. She'll be safe. Safe? In a palace where someone just threatened us? Risa's eyes narrowed. Who threatened you? Mira bit her tongue. Snitching on the Alpha King's intended seemed like a fast way to make even more enemies. No one. Forget it. Mira. I'll come. She kissed Lily's forehead. Baby, I need you to stay here with these nice guards, okay? Mama will be right back. Promise? Lily's eyes were wide. I promise. It was a lie. In this place, Mira couldn't promise anything. The council chamber was exactly what she'd expected, massive, intimidating, designed to make visitors feel small. 7 alphas sat in high-backed chairs, arranged in a semicircle. Chaos sat in the center, elevated slightly, the Alpha King presiding over his vassals. He looked different here. Harder. The man who'd promised to protect her was gone, replaced by the Winter King she'd heard stories about. Cold. Ruthless. Untouchable. The Omega enters, one of the Alphas announced unnecessarily. Mira kept her spine straight as she walked forward, refusing to bow. She might be packless, powerless, but she wouldn't grovel. Mira. Kale's voice was carefully neutral. The council has questions regarding last night's events. You'll answer truthfully. It wasn't a request. It was a command, backed by Alpha power. Of course, Alpha King, she said, matching his formality. An older Alpha with silver streaking his dark hair leaned forward. You claim you were at the border territories looking for your daughter. Why was a 4-year-old child wandering unsupervised? I was working. She slipped away for a moment. How convenient that she slipped away toward the exact location where the Alpha King was being ambushed. I didn't know he was there. I didn't know anyone was there. Yet your daughter's power manifested at precisely the right moment to save his life. Another Alpha, this one younger with calculating eyes. Remarkable timing. It was the first time her power manifested. She was terrified. She screamed in it, it just happened. The first time, the silver-haired Alpha repeated skeptically. A child's power doesn't spontaneously emerge at level capable of repelling 3 experienced rogues. That requires training. Preparation. She's 4 years old. Myra's control snapped. She can barely tie her shoes. You think I've been training her as some kind of assassin? We think, a third Alpha said coldly, that you're either incredibly lucky or incredibly dangerous. And we don't believe in luck. Reese stepped forward from where he'd been standing guard. I've investigated the Omega's background. She's worked at the same tavern for 3 years. No pack affiliation, no suspicious contacts. By all accounts, she's exactly what she appears, a single mother trying to survive. Or a deep-cover operative who's been building a believable identity for years, the younger Alpha countered. The rogues who ambushed our king were organized, well-informed. Someone fed them information. Someone inside our territories. The implication hung heavy in the air. I've never spoken to any rogues, Mira said through gritted teeth. I've never been to the Northern Territories before yesterday. I have no reason to want the Alpha King dead. No reason except the massive reward Victor is offering for information on the Trueblood Luna child. The silver-haired Alpha's eyes glittered. Word has spread quickly. Every rogue pack, every mercenary, every wolf with more ambition than sense is looking for your daughter. Odd that she appeared in our territory just as the Alpha King was vulnerable. That's not, I didn't, Mira turned to Kale desperately. Tell them. You know I'm not involved. Kale's expression was carved from ice. What I know is that my kingdom is under threat. That rogues are organizing in ways they never have before. That someone betrayed my location and patrol schedule. His golden eyes met hers, and for a moment she saw something flicker, regret, maybe, or pain. I cannot let personal feelings compromise the safety of my people. Personal feelings. The mate bond he'd admitted to, the connection he'd claimed was unbreakable. It meant nothing here. In this room, she was just another suspect. However, Kale continued, I also cannot ignore the evidence. Mira saved my life. Her daughter's power, whether trained or spontaneous, stopped the rogues when I could not. Until I have proof of her involvement with my enemies, she remains under my protection. Protection or surveillance? The younger Alpha asked. Both. Kale's tone was final. She and her daughter will remain in the palace, under guard, until we determine the source of the information leak. No one enters or leaves the East Wing without my express permission. So that was it. Officially imprisoned. You can't do this, Mira said. We haven't done anything wrong. I'm the Alpha King. I can do whatever necessary to protect my people. Kale stood, and the other Alphas immediately rose with him. This council is dismissed. Reese, escort the Omega back to her quarters. Yes, my king. Reese's hand on her arm was gentle but unyielding. Mira let herself be led away, too numb to fight. In the hallway outside the council chamber, Reese finally spoke. For what it's worth, I believe you weren't involved in the ambush. But I don't trust coincidences. And I don't trust that your arrival isn't part of something larger. He stopped, turned to face her. The Alpha King is compromised where you're concerned. I've served him for 10 years, and I've never seen him lose control like this. Which means you're either his salvation or his destruction. I just want to keep my daughter safe. Then help me. Reese's gray eyes were intense. Tell me everything about your bloodline. Your parents, grandparents, any connection to old pack lines. If there's something in your history that explains your daughter's power, we need to know. Mira thought of her mother's deathbed warnings. Of secrets kept and bloodlines hidden. Of the father who drank himself to death rather than tell her the truth. My mother was from Silvermoon Pack, she said finally. But she left before I was born. Ran away with my father to the neutral territories. She never told me why. Silvermoon. Reese's expression sharpened. The pack founded by Luna Evangeline. So Luna Evangeline was the last confirmed True Blood Luna. If your mother was from that pack, if she carried even dormant genes, he cut himself off. We need to research your bloodline. Immediately. Will that make you trust me? No. But it might explain why the Alpha King is willing to risk everything to keep you close. That night, Mira couldn't sleep. The bed was too soft, the room too quiet. She kept waiting for danger that never came, or rather, that was already here, wrapped in silk and marble and false courtesy. Around midnight, she gave up and went to check on Lily. Her daughter was asleep, but not peacefully. She twisted in the sheets, whimpering, her small face scrunched in distress. Lily, baby. Mira sat on the edge of the bed, smoothing dark curls back. Wake up. You're having a nightmare. Lily's eyes snapped open, silver, glowing silver, not their usual brown. He's coming, she whispered. The dark wolf with red eyes. He says he wants to meet me. Says I'm his. Myra's blood froze. What dark wolf? Lily, what are you? But Lily was already reaching for the paper and crayons the servants had provided. Her hand moved frantically, almost violently, sketching shapes and shadows. When she finished, she looked up at Mira with normal brown eyes, confused. Mama? Why am I drawing? Mira stared at the picture. A massive wolf, black as midnight, with eyes that Lily had colored blood red. Around him, smaller wolves bowed. And in the corner, barely visible, a crown. I need paper, Mira said hoarsely. More paper, Lily. Can you draw more? Over the next hour, Lily drew 7 pictures, each one more detailed than the last. She didn't seem to know what she was drawing. her eyes would go silver, her hand would move, and when she finished she'd blink in confusion. Prophetic dreams. One of the gifts of True Blood Lunas. The pictures told a story, the Dark Wolf. A gathering of rogues. A battle coming. And in the last picture, the one that made Myra's hands shake, Lily standing between two wolves. One black with red eyes. One silver with gold eyes. Both wearing crowns. A knock at the door made her jump. She shoved the drawings under the bed just as the door opened. Chaol stood there in sleeping clothes, his dark hair disheveled. I felt, he stopped. Your distress. Through the bond. What's wrong? Nothing. We're fine. His eyes narrowed. You're lying. And you're trespassing. Get out. He stepped inside instead, and despite her anger, despite everything, Myra's wolf whined at his proximity. The mate bond pulled like a physical thing, urging her closer. She took a step back instead. Lily had nightmares, she said. Just bad dreams. True Blood Lunas don't have bad dreams. They have visions. Chaol's gaze went to her daughter, still sleeping peacefully now. What did she see? Mira hesitated. Showing him the pictures meant revealing more of Lily's power. But hiding them meant facing whatever was coming blind. Show me, Chaol said quietly. Please. She retrieved the drawings. Watched his face as he examined each one, his expression growing darker. The Dark Wolf, he said finally. She's drawn him before? This is the first time she's ever drawn anything like this. She said, Mira swallowed. She said he calls himself her father. Chaol went very still. That's impossible. Is it? You said she's your daughter. But are you sure? Are you absolutely certain that you're the only? She couldn't finish. Yes. His voice was steel. I felt the bond the moment I scented you properly. Fated mates don't make mistakes. And the timeline, he stopped. When were you last in the Crescent Moon territories? 5 years ago? Yes. With my father. He was attending as a healer. And you and I, he seemed to struggle with the words. We spent the night together. One night. You're certain? I'm certain I was only with one person. One wolf. Myra's face burned. I don't make a habit of, it was the only time I've ever, she cut herself off, mortified. Something softened in Chaol's expression. I'm not judging you, Mira. I'm trying to understand. Because if Lily is my daughter, and she's seeing visions of another wolf claiming paternity. Papa? They both froze. Lily sat up in bed, rubbing her eyes, looking directly at Chaol. Papa, why are you sad again? The word hung in the air like a bomb. Lily, no. Mira moved quickly, putting herself between them. He's not, you can't call him. But he is. Lily tilted her head, confused. He smells like me. Like us. The silver light recognizes him. The silver light? Chaol's voice was rough. The power. Lily held out her hands, and faint silver traces danced across her palms. It knows family. It knows pack. And it knows Papa. Chaol's knees actually buckled. He caught himself on the bedpost, staring at the child with something like awe and terror. I didn't know, he whispered. Mira, I swear to you, I didn't know. If I had, if I'd realized. It doesn't matter. Myra's voice shook. She can't call you that. People will hear. They'll know. Let them. Chaol straightened, and the Alpha King was back, commanding and powerful. She's my daughter. My blood. I'm done hiding it. You're done. You've known for one day. I've been her only parent for 4 years, keeping her safe, keeping her fed, keeping her alive while I didn't know she existed. His eyes blazed gold. You think I wouldn't have come for you? Wouldn't have protected you both? I thought that night was, he cut himself off, jaw clenched. It doesn't matter. What matters is now. Lily is my daughter and you're my mate, and I will burn this entire kingdom down before I let anyone hurt either of you. Pretty words from the Winter King. Not words. A vow. He moved closer, and Myra's traitorous body responded, heat flooding through her. I know I'm not what you want. Chaol's head whipped toward the door. Get behind me. Now. Mira grabbed Lily just as the door burst open. But it wasn't guards. It wasn't alphas. It was servants. 6 of them, moving in perfect synchronization, their eyes blank and faces expressionless. And they all wore identical silver collars. Compulsion, Chaol breathed. Someone's controlling them. The servants attacked. Chaol shifted in a blur of power, his wolf form massive and silver, throwing himself between them and Mira. Bones cracked. 1 servant went down, 2, 3, but they kept coming, mindless and unstoppable. Lily. Mira backed toward the window. Don't look, baby, don't. Silver light exploded from Lily's hands. The servants froze mid-attack, their collars glowing. Then, one by one, they collapsed. The room fell silent except for Chaol's labored breathing. He shifted back to human, blood on his knuckles, eyes wild. The collars, he said hoarsely. I've seen these before. Years ago. They're rogue technology, a way to control wolves by suppressing their consciousness. But how did they get into the palace? They didn't. Rhys burst into the room, weapon drawn, more guards behind him. He stopped short at the scene of carnage. Mother Moon. My king, are you? Check the servants' backgrounds. All of them. Chaol's voice was deadly calm. Someone placed compelled wolves in my palace. Someone inside our organization. Or, a new voice said from the doorway, smooth and cold, perhaps they were always here, waiting for the right moment. Lady Seraphine stepped into view, and Myra's blood ran cold. Because hanging from the lady's hand, limp and unconscious, was a small figure in servant's clothes. A boy who couldn't be more than 16. And around his neck was a silver collar identical to the others. Found this one sneaking toward the east wing, Seraphine said. Thought you'd want to question him before I broke his neck. Chaol moved faster than thought, ripping the boy from Seraphine's grip. Who sent you? Who's controlling the collars? The boy's eyes flickered, brown to red, red to brown. When he spoke, his voice was layered, as if multiple people spoke through him. The Dark Wolf sends his regards, Alpha King. And he wants his daughter returned. Then the collar activated, silver light blazing, and the boy screamed. When it faded, he was dead. And on the wall behind him, burned into the stone in letters 3 feet high, was a message. Give me the Luna child, or watch your kingdom burn. Lily began to cry. And somewhere in the palace depths, something howled, the sound of a wolf that had never been human at all. If you're still listening to this story up to this point, why don't you subscribe to this channel to continue getting impactful daily stories like this? We would be most grateful if you can do that to help boost this video to reach everyone. Thank you. Chapter 4. The poison was elegant in its cruelty. Mira didn't feel it at first, just a slight weakness during breakfast, a tremor in her hands she blamed on lack of sleep. By midday, her vision was blurring at the edges. By evening, she could barely stand. Mama's sick, Lily whispered, pressed against her side in their quarters. The bad flower is in her blood. Just tired, baby. Myra's voice slurred. When had speaking become so difficult? Need to rest. But rest didn't help. Her skin burned and froze simultaneously, sweat soaking through her clothes while she shivered. Her wolf whined deep inside, trying to heal, but something was blocking it. Suppressing her already weak healing abilities. The door opened. A servant, One of the new ones, vetted and cleared after the attack 3 nights ago, entered with tea and medicine. From the palace physician, the woman said, not meeting Myra's eyes. For your illness. Mira tried to focus on the servant's face, but everything was hazy. What illness? Omega fragility. Common in times of stress. The woman set the tray down. Lady Seraphine mentioned you seemed unwell. She insisted the physician examine you while you slept. Lady Seraphine. Myra's blood turned to ice even through the fever. When did she? 2 days ago. After the formal luncheon. The servant's voice was carefully neutral. You don't remember? She didn't. 2 days were a blur of heat and cold and Lily's worried face swimming in and out of focus. The tea will help, the servant continued. Lady Seraphine prepared it herself from her family's private gardens. She said to tell you she bears no ill will about the complications with the Alpha King. Complications. The mate bond that had destroyed Seraphine's engagement. The alliance that had shattered. The war that was brewing. Myra's hand shook as she reached for the tea. Stopped. Tell Lady Seraphine, she said slowly, each word an effort, that I appreciate her concern. But I won't be drinking anything she's touched. The servant's mask slipped for just a moment. My lady, I assure you. Get out. The woman left quickly, taking the tea with her. Lily climbed onto the bed, her small hands glowing faint silver as she pressed them to Myra's forehead. The bad flower is monkshood. From the blue garden. The pretty lady put it in your food. How do you know that? The silver light shows me. Lily's eyes were too old for a 4-year-old. It shows me lots of things now, Mama. Too many things. What things, baby? 3 roads. Lily's voice went distant, dreamy. 3 futures. In one, you die and Papa's heart breaks and he becomes the monster everyone thinks he is. In another, Papa dies and the rogues take me and you follow us into darkness. In the last one. She stopped, trembling. Tell me, Mira whispered. In the last one, I'm chained. Silver chains that burn. And I make wolves do things they don't want to do. Bad things. And you and Papa watch and cry but you can't stop it because you're chained too. Tears streamed down Lily's face. I don't want any of those roads, Mama. I want the one where we're happy. Where we're safe. But I can't see it. The silver light can't find it. Mira pulled her daughter close despite the pain screaming through her body. We'll make our own road, baby. I promise. Promises can break. Lily pressed her face against Myra's neck. I've seen it. In the visions. Everything breaks. Kale felt the exact moment Myra's distress spiked. He was in the war room with Reese and 3 generals, discussing defensive positions for the inevitable attack from Seraphine's pack. The bond had been a constant hum of anxiety for days, Myra's fear, her uncertainty, her bone-deep exhaustion. But this was different. This was agony. My king? Reese stepped forward as Kale doubled over, hand pressed to his chest. What's wrong? Mira. The name tore from him. Something's wrong with Mira. He was running before anyone could respond, alpha power flooding through him, making wolves dive out of his way. The bond pulled like a rope around his heart, leading him unerringly to the east wing. The guards at Myra's door tried to stop him. My king, the Omega is resting, she gave orders not to be. Kale shoved past them, nearly ripping the door off its hinges. The smell hit him first. Sickness. Poison. Death creeping in at the edges. Mira lay on the bed, her skin gray, her breathing shallow. Lily sat beside her, silver light flickering weakly around her small hands. She's dying, Lily said without looking up. The bad flower is in her heart now. I can't reach it. Kale crossed the room in 2 strides, pressing his hand to Myra's forehead. She was burning up. What happened? How long has she been like this? 3 days. But worse now. Much worse. Lily finally met his eyes, and Cale flinched at the ancient grief in them. The pretty lady poisoned her. Monkshood in the food. Slow. Painful. Meant to look like Omega weakness. Seraphine. Rage exploded through him, so powerful his wolf nearly broke free. But he locked it down, focused. Rhys. His beta appeared instantly. My king. Get the physician. Now. And bring me Lady Seraphine. My king, if you're accusing. I'm not accusing. I'm stating fact. Cale's voice could freeze blood. Bring her to me, or I'll hunt her down myself. Rhys left at a run. Cale turned back to Mira, carefully gathering her into his arms. She was so light, too light, all sharp angles and fragile bones. How had he not noticed her deteriorating? Because she'd hidden it. Pushed through, trying to be strong for her daughter. Their daughter. Papa. Lily's voice was small. Can you save her? Yes. He had to. The alternative was unthinkable. But I need you to help me, Lily. Your power, the silver light. Can you show me where the poison is? Lily placed her hand on Myra's chest. Silver light bloomed, spreading through Myra's body like veins, illuminating the darkness spreading from her heart. There. Lily pointed to a concentrated mass of shadow near Myra's heart. The bad flower made a nest. Monkshood. Wolfsbane's cousin. Deadly to wolves, especially Omegas with weaker constitutions. And if it had reached her heart? Cale didn't let himself finish that thought. I need you to hold the light steady, he told Lily. Can you do that? She nodded, her face scrunched with concentration. Cale shifted partially, a dangerous, difficult state where human and wolf merged. His claws extended, sharper than any blade, and he made a precise cut over Myra's heart. Her eyes snapped open with a gasp of pain. I'm sorry, Cale murmured, hating himself. I'm so sorry, but I have to. He placed his mouth over the wound and drew. The poison tasted like death and bitter flowers. He spat it out, drew again, spat, again and again until the shadows in Lily's silver light began to recede. Myra's hand found his hair, gripping weakly. Stop. You'll poison yourself. I'm an alpha king. I can handle more toxin than most. He drew again, spat black blood. Besides, what happens to you happens to me. Mate bond, remember? Stupid bond. But her grip on his hair tightened. Stupid alpha. Stupid. She passed out again. Cale kept working until Lily's light showed clear. Until the poison was gone and Myra's breathing evened out. The physician arrived as he was bandaging the wound. My king, what happened? Monkshood poisoning. Deliberate. I've removed most of it, but she'll need monitoring. Cale carefully laid Mira back on the bed. No one enters this room except you, me, or Rhys. No servants. No visitors. No one. Yes, my king. The physician began his examination. She's lucky you found her in time. Another hour and the poison would have stopped her heart. Lucky. Cale didn't feel lucky. He felt murderous. Papa? Lily tugged on his sleeve. The pretty lady is coming. With lots of wolves. They're angry. Of course they were. Cale kissed Lily's forehead, an impulse he didn't stop to question, and strode out of the room. Seraphine waited in the hallway, flanked by 6 warriors from her pack. Her beautiful face was composed, but her eyes glittered with rage. You summoned me, Alpha King? You poisoned my mate. The accusation hung in the air. Several of Seraphine's warriors reached for weapons. That's a serious charge, Seraphine said coolly. I hope you have proof. I have testimony from a true-blood Luna. Her visions don't lie. A 4-year-old child who barely understands her power? Hardly credible. Seraphine smiled. Besides, why would I poison a sickly Omega? She was already dying of natural causes. Omega fragility is well documented. There's nothing natural about monkshood in her system. Monkshood grows wild in many gardens. Perhaps she ingested it accidentally. Perhaps she's so desperate to keep your attention that she poisoned herself. Seraphine's voice turned sharp. Or perhaps you're looking for excuses to break our alliance completely. The alliance ended the moment the mate bond snapped into place. A bond you claim exists but have shown no proof of. Seraphine stepped closer. Where's the claiming mark, Alpha King? Where's the public announcement? The formal ceremony? You've kept this Omega hidden away like a dirty secret while stringing my pack along. She wasn't wrong. Kael had been trying to manage the situation carefully, to avoid the very chaos that was now inevitable. But careful was done. You're right, he said quietly. I should have made it public immediately. That ends tonight. Seraphine's expression flickered. What? Tonight, at the formal dinner, I'll announce the mate bond. Publicly claim Mira as my Luna. My pack has been allied with Thornridge for generations. Breaking that alliance means war. Then war it is. Kael's eyes blazed gold. I warned you, Seraphine. Anyone who threatens my mate answers to me. That includes you. You'd throw the kingdom into chaos for an Omega? A woman you barely know? I'd burn the kingdom to ash for her. The words came easily, terrifyingly true. And for our daughter. So choose carefully, Lady Seraphine. Accept the broken alliance gracefully, or push me further and see what happens. For a moment, he thought she might actually challenge him. Her warriors tensed, hands on weapons. Then Seraphine smiled. Cold. Calculating. Deadly. Very well, Alpha King. I accept that our engagement is ended. She inclined her head mockingly. But know this, you've made an enemy today. And my pack has a long memory. So do I. Now get out of my palace before I forget that we were once allies. Seraphine swept away, her warriors following. But Kael didn't miss the look she exchanged with one of them. A signal. Rhys, he said quietly. His beta materialized from the shadows. My king? Have Seraphine and her warriors escorted to the border. Search them for weapons, poisons, anything suspicious. And double the guard on Mira and Lily. Already done. Rhys hesitated. My king, announcing the mate bond tonight, are you certain? The council will resist. The allied packs will see it as weakness. And with the rogue threat. I don't care. Kael's voice was steel. I should have done this days ago. Every moment I wait puts Mira in more danger. Understood. Rhys turned to leave, then stopped. For what it's worth, I think you're making the right choice. Even if it costs us everything. It won't cost us everything. It'll cost our enemies everything. Kael hoped that was true. The formal dinner was a nightmare dressed in silk and silver. Mira had protested, she was still weak, still recovering, absolutely not ready to face the pack's elite. But Kael had been immovable. They need to see you, he'd said, helping her into a dress that probably cost more than her old tavern's yearly income. Need to understand what you are to me. A political liability? My mate. My Luna. The mother of my child. His hands had been gentle as he fastened the clasps. The woman I'm going to spend the rest of my life protecting, whether she wants me to or not. Now Mira sat at the high table, Kael to her right, feeling dozens of hostile eyes on her. The dining hall was massive, filled with alphas, betas, high-ranking wolves from across the northern territories. All of them waiting to see what the Alpha King would do about his Omega problem. Lily sat between them, unusually quiet in her own formal dress. She hadn't spoken since her last vision that afternoon, something about chains and fire and wolves with red eyes. Mira didn't want to think about it. Kale stood, and the hall fell silent immediately. "Thank you all for attending tonight," he said, his voice carrying easily. "I know there's been confusion about recent events. About the Omega and child who have come under my protection. Tonight, I'm going to clarify matters." Myra's heart hammered. Beside her, Lily's hand found hers, squeezing tight. "3 weeks ago, I discovered something I never thought I'd find." Kale's eyes swept the room. "My fated mate." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Someone dropped a glass. Fated bonds are rare. Precious. In my 15 years as Alpha King, I never expected to experience one. His gaze found Mira, and something in his expression made her breath catch. "But fate has a sense of humor. Because my mate is an Omega I met 5 years ago at a cross-pack gathering. An Omega I spent one night with and never saw again. An Omega who, unbeknownst to either of us, carried my child." The hall erupted. Wolves were on their feet, shouting questions, denials, accusations. Only Kale's alpha command. A wave of power that made everyone's wolves submit, brought order. "The child," Kale continued, "is my daughter. Lily Thornridge. And her mother, Mira, is my fated mate and your future Luna." "Impossible," someone shouted. "Fated bonds reveal themselves immediately." "Not when one party is drugged," Kale said coldly. "Research into the matter has revealed that Myra's wine was laced with suppression herbs that night, not enough to notice, but enough to mute the mate bond from manifesting fully." Myra's head snapped toward him. Drugged? She'd been drugged? Who would drug an Omega at a pack gathering? Another voice called. "Someone who wanted to ensure I had no fated mate. Someone who wanted the Alpha King vulnerable to arranged alliances." Kale's expression was granite. "We're investigating." But Mira barely heard the rest of his speech. Drugged. Her memories of that night were hazy, dreamlike. She'd blamed it on the wine, on exhaustion, on the overwhelming nature of being with an alpha for the first time. But it had been intentional. Someone had stolen her choice, her awareness, her ability to recognize her own mate. Someone had stolen 5 years they could have had together. "Mama." Lily's voice was urgent. "The silver light is showing me." She stopped. Stiffened. Then silver light exploded from her, so bright Mira had to close her eyes. When she opened them, Lily was standing on the table, her eyes pure silver, her small body rigid. "No." The word came from Lily but wasn't Lily's voice. It was older, ancient, layered with power. "The lies end now." The light spread through the hall like wildfire, touching every wolf. And where it touched, things changed. Mira gasped as the mate bond with Kale suddenly blazed to life, not the muted awareness she'd felt before, but full, overwhelming, undeniable. She could feel his heart beating, feel his emotions, feel the depth of his need for her. And she could feel something else. Something in her own blood awakening. Power she'd never known she possessed. Around the hall, wolves were screaming, crying, falling to their knees. "What's happening?" Mira tried to reach for Lily, but the silver light pushed her back. An old wolf, ancient, with a long white beard, stumbled forward. "Trueblood Luna," he breathed. "She's forcing truth. Making the hidden visible." The bond wasn't muted by drugs alone, it was suppressed by dormant bloodlines refusing to acknowledge each other. "What does that mean?" Kale demanded. "It means your father lied to you, Alpha King." The old wolf's eyes were wide with awe and terror. "You don't just carry alpha bloodlines. You carry prime alpha genes. The original wolf bloodline, extinct for over 1,000 years. And it recognized its match in her," he pointed at Mira. "A true Luna bloodline carrier. Together, you're not just mates. You're the genetic key to resurrecting the old power. The prime bloodline is mythology, someone protested. So were True Blood Lunas. The old wolf laughed shakily. But look at that child. Look at what she's showing us. Lily's light intensified, and suddenly Mira could see it, could see the golden threads connecting her to Kale, connecting both of them to Lily, connecting all three to something vast and ancient sleeping in their blood. Prime Alpha and True Luna, the old wolf continued. Together, they could create a royal bloodline that would make every current alpha pack look like puppies. They could reshape wolf society. End the territorial wars. Unite the packs under one true king and queen. Or, a new voice said from the back of the hall, cold and amused, they could be destroyed before that power fully manifests. Before they become too dangerous to stop. The doors burst open. Rogues poured in, dozens of them, armed with silver and wolfsbane. Behind them came warriors in Blackwater colors, Seraphine's pack. And at the center of it all stood Victor, the rogue who'd escaped the first ambush. His eyes blazed red as they fixed on Lily. There's the little Luna, he said. Come here, child. Your real father wants to meet you. Kale shifted instantly, his massive silver wolf placing itself between Victor and his family. But Victor just smiled. Did you really think you were her sire, Alpha King? Just because you spent one night with her mother? He laughed. That night was orchestrated. Everything was orchestrated. Because I needed powerful bloodlines to create the perfect vessel. You're insane, Mira breathed. I'm visionary. Victor's form began to change, not into a normal wolf, but something else. Something wrong. His bones extended too far, his fur was matted with old blood, his eyes glowed with unnatural red light. I'm the dark wolf from your daughter's visions. And I've been waiting 5 years for my weapon to mature. Lily's silver light flickered and died. She collapsed on the table. And in that moment of darkness, all hell broke loose. Wolves shifted. Silver blades flashed. The formal dinner became a battlefield. Kale fought like the legends said the Winter King should, brutal, efficient, unstoppable. But there were too many enemies. Too many angles of attack. Mira grabbed Lily, trying to shield her daughter's unconscious body. A rogue lunged at them. Rhys appeared from nowhere, his blade taking the rogue's head off. Get to the safe room. Now. I'm not leaving. That wasn't a suggestion. Rhys's eyes were wild. My king gave me one order, protect you and Lily above everything. So move. But Victor was cutting through the crowd, heading straight for them. His monstrous form was unstoppable, guards falling before him like wheat before a scythe. Give me my daughter, Victor growled. And I'll let the rest of you live. Never, Mira said. Victor smiled. Then watch your kingdom burn. He raised one clawed hand, and red light exploded from it. The palace walls began to crack. And in her arms, Lily's eyes snapped open. Silver on one side, red on the other. 2 fathers, she whispered. 2 bloodlines. 2 chains. The prophecy was wrong, Mama. I don't have 3 futures. What do you mean? I have none. Lily's voice was fading. The power is too much. I'm too small. I can't, I'm breaking, Mama. I'm breaking apart. No. No, baby, stay with me. But Lily's body was starting to glow, silver and red swirling together, building to something catastrophic. She's going to explode, the old historian shouted over the chaos. The conflicting bloodlines are tearing her apart. If both alphas don't claim her and stabilize the power, she'll take the entire palace down. Kale was there instantly, his hands on Lily. I claim this child as mine. My blood, my pack, my legacy. The silver light surged but the red didn't fade. Victor laughed. My turn. I claim this child as mine. My weapon, my power, my future. The red light surged. Lily screamed. And the world turned white. If you're still listening to this story up to this point, why don't you subscribe to this channel to continue getting impactful daily stories like this? We would be most grateful if you can do that to help boost this video to reach everyone. Thank you. Chapter 5. The white light swallowed everything. When Mira could see again, Lily was suspended in the air between Kale and Victor, her small body rigid, silver and red energy crackling around her like lightning. Mama, Lily's voice echoed from everywhere and nowhere. It hurts. Make it stop hurting. I'm trying, baby. Mira reached for her daughter, but the energy threw her back. She slammed into Reese, who caught her. Don't touch her, the old historian shouted over the chaos. The conflicting bloodline claims are creating a resonance loop. If anyone disrupts it before it stabilizes. An explosion rocked the palace. Part of the east wall crumbled. We don't have time for stabilization, Reese growled. The rogues are breaching the inner defenses. Seraphine's pack is at the north gate. And half the council alphas are using the chaos to position for a coup. 3 fronts. Kale's voice was strained as he fought to maintain his claim on Lily while fending off Victor's power. We can't hold against 3 fronts. Then we don't hold. Mira pushed to her feet, ignoring how her legs shook. The poison was still in her system, still weakening her. But her daughter was dying, and nothing else mattered. We end this. How? Kale's gold eyes found hers. Mira, I can't let go of the claim. If I do, Victor's power will consume her completely. And I can't let go, Victor said, his monstrous form rippling with red light. Because if I do, she's useless to me. So we're at an impasse, Alpha King. Unless you're willing to watch your daughter tear herself apart. There's another option. The words came from Mira before she'd fully thought them through. You want power? You want leverage? Take me instead. No. Kale's voice was absolute. Absolutely not. Interesting. Victor's red eyes fixed on her. The Omega offers herself. But what good are you to me, little wolf? You have no power. No value except as the Alpha King's weakness. Then use me as that. Mira stepped forward, closer to the maelstrom of energy surrounding Lily. Let my daughter go. Take me as hostage. You can demand whatever you want, the kingdom, the territories. Kale, surrender. Mira, stop. It's the only way. She turned to Kale, and something in her chest cracked open. The mate bond, fully active now thanks to Lily's truth-forcing light, let her feel everything he felt. His terror. His love. His absolute refusal to lose either of them. You said you'd burn the kingdom for us. Prove it. Let me go. I can't. His voice broke. You're asking me to choose between my daughter and my mate. I can't make that choice. You don't have to. Mira looked at Lily, suspended and suffering, and made her own choice. I'm choosing for both of us. She lunged into the energy field. Pain exploded through every nerve. Silver and red lightning seared her skin, her bones, her soul. She heard Kale screaming her name, heard Victor's surprised laugh, heard Lily crying. And then she heard something else. A voice. Ancient. Female. Speaking directly into her mind. Finally. I've been waiting so long for you to remember. Remember what? Mira gasped, barely conscious. Who you are. What you are. What they tried to make you forget. Images flooded her mind, not memories, but something deeper. Older. She was 16 again, in her birth pack. But it wasn't the weak, frightened Omega she remembered being. This girl was strong. Confident. Her eyes glowed not with submission but with gold fire. No, Mira whispered. That's not real. I was never. They bound you. Suppressed you. When you refused the forced bonding to their chosen alpha, they decided you were too dangerous. Too strong. So they broke something inside you and convinced you it was natural. Another memory surfaced. Her father, not drunk, not broken, but desperate and guilty. Forgive me, Mira. It was the only way to keep you safe. If they knew you were Alpha-born, they would have killed you. Alpha-born, Mira breathed. But I'm Omega. I've always been Omega. No. You've always been broken. And it's time to heal. The voice surged through her, and something inside Mira that had been locked away for 15 years shattered like glass. Power exploded from her core. Not Omega power, gentle, nurturing, submissive. This was Alpha fire, pure and devastating. Gold light to match Kale's silver, blazing bright enough to rival Lily's display. The energy field around Lily stabilized. Silver, red, and now gold, 3 powers in perfect balance. Mira opened her eyes, gold, blazing gold, and her wolf rose for the first time in 15 years. Not the small, frightened creature she'd lived with. This wolf was massive, powerful, an alpha female in truth. Impossible, Victor snarled. You're Omega. She was never Omega. The old historian's voice was filled with awe. She was suppressed. Hidden. But a true alpha female can't be contained forever. Especially not when her mate and child need her. Mira felt it now, the full mate bond with Kale, alpha to alpha, equals in power and will. Felt Lily's bloodline connection, not just as mother to daughter but as Luna to Luna, power recognizing power. Lily, she said, her voice resonating with new authority. Baby, I need you to listen. Can you hear me? Mama? Lily's eyes, still one silver, one red, focused on her. You're glowing. So are you. And so is Papa. And that's okay. We're supposed to glow. Mira reached through the energy field, and this time it didn't burn. Her alpha power cut through it like the conflicting forces recognized her authority. But you're trying to hold too much power alone. You need to share it. I don't know how. Yes, you do. The silver light shows you, remember? It shows you connections. Pack bonds. Family bonds. So look at those bonds, baby. Really look. Lily's eyes began to glow pure silver. I see them. Gold threads to you. Silver threads to Papa. But red threads too. She looked at Victor with confusion. To him too. But wrong. Tangled. Broken threads trying to connect. Because I created you, Victor said, his voice taking on a strange, hypnotic quality. I arranged that night. Used ancient magic to ensure the Alpha King seed took root. Added my own power to the mix. You're as much mine as his. You're insane, Kale growled. I'm ambitious. Victor's form began to shift again, growing larger. And in a few moments, when the child's power peaks, she'll be completely mine. The ritual I started 5 years ago will complete, and she'll be bound to me as surely as any mate bond. No. Lily's voice was small but firm. I don't want your threads. They hurt. They're poison like the bad flower. You don't have a choice, little Luna. But I do. Lily turned to Mira. The silver light shows me. Shows me how to cut poison threads. But I'm too small. Too weak. I need help. Then take mine. Mira reached for her daughter's hand, and their powers merged, gold and silver swirling together. And Papa's too. Kale didn't hesitate. His silver light joined theirs, and suddenly the 3 of them were connected in a way that went beyond blood or bonds. A triad. Perfectly balanced. Resonating with power that made the palace walls shake. Now, Mira said. Show us the threads, Lily. All of them. The world exploded into color. Mira could see it now, the web of connections between every wolf in the kingdom. Pack bonds, family bonds, mate bonds, all woven together in intricate patterns. Beautiful and complex and fragile. And threaded through it all, like poison, were Victor's red lines. Artificial bonds he'd been weaving for years, trying to control wolves, to create an army loyal only to him. Seraphine, Kale breathed, seeing the red thread connecting Victor to the lady. She's connected to him. She's his half-sister, Reese said quietly, appearing at their side. I've suspected for months but couldn't prove it. Same father, different mothers. Both cast out from their birth packs for being wrong. Both twisted by rejection into something dark. And both determined to control the one thing they never had, the old historian added. Legitimate power. Victor couldn't be Alpha King, so he tried to create a weapon that could control one. Seraphine couldn't be Luna Queen, so she tried to force a bond with one. Together, they planned to use Lily's Trueblood power to create artificial mate bonds, controlling every pack through manufactured loyalty. Myra's stomach turned. That's monstrous. That's survival, Victor said, unrepentant. In a world where power determines everything, you either take it or you die. I chose to take it. No. Lily's voice rang through the chamber, clear and strong despite her small size. You chose to hurt people. To force them. To make them forget who they really are. Her silver eyes found Mira. Like what they did to Mama. Like what you tried to do to me. And what will you do about it, little Luna? Victor mocked. Destroy me? You don't have the strength. You're 4 years old and burning yourself out with every breath. I won't destroy you. Lily's power surged, and suddenly everyone in the chamber could see what she saw, the web of connections, the poison threads, the beautiful and broken bonds holding wolves together. I'll heal you. What? Silver light exploded from Lily, but not destructively. This was different from her earlier bursts. This was gentle, warm, spreading through the web of connections like medicine through veins. Where the light touched Victor's artificial bonds, they dissolved. Wolves who'd been under his influence gasped as their minds cleared. Rogues who'd been compelled to fight staggered, confused, suddenly free. But the light didn't stop there. It found broken bonds, wolves separated from their packs, their families, their true mates, and illuminated them. Showed them the way home. It found suppressed wolves like Mira had been and cracked open their prisons. It found the hurting, the lost, the forgotten, and it whispered, you belong. You matter. You're not alone. This is the true power of a true-blood Luna, the old historian said, tears streaming down his face. Not destruction. Not control. Unity. Healing. Showing wolves what they could be if they chose connection over domination. Victor screamed as the light burned away his artificial power. His monstrous form collapsed, revealing a man beneath, scarred, broken, ancient beyond his years. No, he gasped. My power. My army. My. Gone, Lily said simply. You can't force love. Can't force loyalty. Can't force pack. It has to be chosen. She reached for Victor, small hand extended, and Mira wanted to stop her, wanted to protect her daughter from this monster. But Lily's eyes were certain. You can choose too, she told Victor. Can choose to be part of the web instead of trying to control it. Can choose to heal instead of hurt. Her voice dropped. The red threads aren't all bad. Some are yours. Real ones. Pack bonds you made before everything broke. I can see them. Hidden deep. Forgotten but not gone. Victor stared at her hand like it was a weapon. Why? Why would you offer me anything after what I tried to do? Because Mama taught me that everyone deserves a second chance. Lily glanced back at Mira. And because the silver light shows me your heart. You're not evil. You're just really, really scared. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then Victor's hand, clawed, monstrous, slowly reached for Lily's. The moment they touched, red light flared one last time. But this time it didn't attack. It merged with Lily's silver, transforming into something new. Something that looked almost like healing. Victor collapsed, his monstrous form melting away completely. When he looked up, his eyes were brown, human, haunted, but sane. "What did you do to me?" he whispered. "Gave you a choice," Lily said. "You can accept it or not. But the choice is yours now. Really yours." Before Victor could respond, the palace doors burst open. Seraphine stood there, her perfect face twisted with rage, her pack warriors behind her. "No. The plan, Victor, the ritual, you were supposed to complete the binding." "The ritual's over, sister," Victor said quietly. "We lost. We didn't lose. We just need to." Seraphine's eyes found Lily, and madness flickered there. "We just need the child. If I can bond her myself, force a Luna claim." She lunged. Kale moved to intercept, but Mira was faster. Her alpha wolf burst free, not small, not weak, but massive and gold and absolutely done with people threatening her daughter. She caught Seraphine mid-leap, slamming the woman to the marble floor hard enough to crack stone. "You poisoned me," Mira growled, and her voice carried the weight of true alpha authority. "Threatened my child. Tried to steal my mate. And I've been patient because I know what it's like to be powerless, to be cast aside, to be told you're nothing." She leaned closer, letting Seraphine see the gold fire in her eyes. "But I'm not nothing. I'm Alpha-born. Luna chosen. And mother to the most powerful wolf in generations. So here's your choice, Lady Seraphine. Accept defeat with grace, or I will show you exactly what an alpha female can do when you threaten her family." Seraphine stared up at her, and something in her expression crumbled. "I was supposed to be Luna. It was promised. My whole life, I was told I would be queen, and then you just appeared and took everything. I didn't take anything. I'm just trying to protect my daughter." Myra's voice softened slightly. "And I think maybe that's what you're trying to do too. Protect yourself. Protect your pack. Protect the future you were promised." She stepped back, releasing Seraphine. "But you can't build a future on poison and lies and forced bonds. Trust me. I tried. It doesn't work." Seraphine lay on the floor, her perfect composure shattered, tears streaking her face. "What happens to me now? To my pack? We broke alliance, sided with rogues. The punishment is death." "The old punishment was death," Kale said, moving to stand beside Mira. His hand found hers, their mate bonds singing with perfect harmony. "But we're making new rules. A new kind of kingdom. The Triad leads now," Reese announced, his voice carrying through the chamber. "Alpha King, Alpha Queen, and True Blood Luna. 3 powers in balance. And their first decree is this: no more forced bonds. No more suppression. No more casting out wolves because they don't fit the old hierarchies. Rogues are given paths to redemption," Kale continued. "Omegas are given protection and choice. Alphas are held accountable for their power. And anyone, who tries to harm a child answers to all 3 of us." Mira looked at Seraphine. "That includes giving you a choice. Swear loyalty to the new order, accept rehabilitation for your crimes, and you can keep your pack in your position. Or reject it, and face exile." "Why?" Seraphine's voice broke. "Why show mercy? I tried to kill you. Because someone showed me mercy once." Mira glanced at Kale. "Even though I didn't deserve it. Even though I was terrified and hostile and wanted nothing more than to run. He chose protection over punishment. Chose patience over power." She looked back at Seraphine. "I'm choosing to do the same. Not because you've earned it. But because that's what Luna means. Mercy. Unity. Second chances. Lily walked over, her small hand patting Seraphine's shoulder. The silver light shows me your threads too. You have good ones underneath the poison. Real pack bonds. Real love for your warriors. You just forgot how to see them. She touched Seraphine's forehead, and silver light pulsed gently. Seraphine gasped. Her eyes cleared. And when she looked at Lily, the madness was gone, replaced by something that looked like wonder and shame. I see it, she whispered. I see what I became. What we both became. She turned to Victor, who was being helped to his feet by Rhys. Brother, what did we do? Tried to control something that can't be controlled, Victor said quietly. And hurt a lot of people in the process. So we fix it. Seraphine stood slowly, shaky but determined. She knelt before Kale, Mira, and Lily. I, Seraphine of House Blackwater, swear loyalty to the Triad. Swear to uphold the new laws. Swear to atone for my crimes against the kingdom and against the Luna family. Victor knelt beside her. I, Victor of No House, swear the same. And beg forgiveness for what I tried to do to the child. Lily considered them both seriously. Then she nodded. Okay. But you have to mean it. The silver light will know if you're lying. We mean it, they said together. Around the chamber, other wolves were kneeling. Council alphas who'd been positioning for a coup. Warriors who'd been compelled by Victor's artificial bonds. Even some of Seraphine's pack members who were seeing clearly for the first time in months. The rebellion was over. But the work was just beginning. 3 months later, Mira stood in the same garden where she'd first entered the palace as a terrified prisoner. So much had changed. The East Wing was no longer a gilded cage but a true home. Lily had her own rooms, filled with books and toys and the ancient texts the historian was using to train her properly. The prophetic dreams still came, but less violently now. More like gentle guidance than overwhelming visions. Victor and Seraphine were in rehabilitation, not prisoners, but guests working to undo the damage they'd caused. Victor was helping identify and free wolves still under artificial bonds. Seraphine was rebuilding her pack's alliance with the kingdom, this time through genuine cooperation rather than forced marriage. Rhys had been revealed as Kale's half-brother, another of the old Alpha King's secrets. But instead of driving them apart, the truth had brought them closer. Rhys now served as chief advisor to the Triad, his loyalty absolute. And the kingdom itself was changing. Slowly, carefully, but genuinely. Rogues were being offered paths home. Omegas were being given educations and choices. The old hierarchies were being dismantled and rebuilt into something better. Something that honored all wolves, not just the strongest. Mama. Lily's voice called from across the garden. Come see. The hurt wolf's baby is all better. Mira smiled and followed her daughter's voice. She found Lily kneeling beside a rogue mother and her pup, wolves who'd come seeking asylum after fleeing an abusive pack. The pup had been dying of silver poisoning when they'd arrived 2 days ago. The palace healers had said there was nothing to be done. But Lily had insisted on trying. Now the pup was sitting up, weak but alive, licking Lily's hand while his mother cried tears of gratitude. The silver light showed me where the poison was hiding, Lily explained seriously. In his heart. Just like Mama's poison. So I did what Papa did, I pulled it out. Except I used light instead of teeth because I'm still too small for teeth pulling. You did wonderfully, little Luna, Mira said, kneeling beside her daughter. The rogue mother looked at Mira with awe. Thank you, Luna Queen. Thank you for giving us sanctuary. For saving my son. In my old pack, they would have left him to die. Said he was too weak, too damaged to be worth the resources. In this pack, no one is too weak to be worth saving, Mira said firmly. That's the first law of the Triad. Protection for all wolves, especially the vulnerable. The second law is Pizza Fridays, Lily added helpfully. Papa said so. Mira laughed. Yes, that's also important. arms wrapped around her from behind. Kale scent, pine and winter ice enveloped her, and the mate bond hummed with contentment. Our daughter is making decrees now, he murmured against her ear. Apparently pizza is a political priority. Smart girl. He pressed a kiss to her temple. The council just approved the new rogue rehabilitation program. Starting next month, we'll have official integration pathways for wolves seeking to join packs. That's wonderful. And terrifying. Half the old guard thinks I've gone soft. His arms tightened. They're not entirely wrong. Before Lily, I ruled through fear. Through power. I was the Winter King, cold and absolute. And now? Now I'm just Kale. Trying to be a good mate. A good father. A good king. He turned her to face him. A better king than my father was. Mira cupped his face. 3 months, and she still marveled at the freedom to touch him. To be touched in return. The mate bond had completed fully on the night of the battle, and now she could barely remember what it felt like to be without it. You're already better, she said. Because you're choosing this. Choosing us. Choosing change. That takes more strength than ruling through fear ever did. You make it sound easy. It's not. But we're doing it together. She kissed him, gentle and sure. All 3 of us. The triad. The triad, he repeated, smiling. I like the sound of that. A commotion at the garden entrance made them both turn. Rhys strode toward them, his expression grim. My king. My queen. We have a situation. Myra's heart sank. 3 months of peace had made her hope the worst was behind them. What kind of situation? The Western Territories are reporting a pack in distress. Their alpha died without naming an heir, and now various factions are fighting for control. Wolves are being hurt. Children are caught in the crossfire. Rhys paused. They're asking for the Triad's intervention. Kale looked at Mira. It's your choice. This is dangerous. Lily is still training, you're still adjusting to your alpha power. When has danger ever stopped us? Mira turned to Lily. Baby, how do you feel about a trip? There are wolves who need help. Lily's eyes gleamed silver for a moment, seeing futures only she could perceive. The silver light shows me scared children. Broken bonds. But also hope. Possibility. Threads waiting to be woven into something beautiful. Then we go. Mira straightened, feeling her alpha wolf rise with purpose. We show them what the new kingdom can be. What pack really means. Together, Kale said, taking her hand. Together, Lily agreed, taking both their hands. They stood there for a moment, Alpha King, Alpha Queen, and True Blood Luna. The Triad. 3 powers in perfect balance. In the distance, a wolf howled. Not a cry of pain or aggression, but something new. Something that sounded almost like joy. And across the kingdom, other wolves answered. The old world was ending. A new one was being born. And at its center stood a family forged not by tradition or force, but by choice. By love. By the understanding that true power came not from dominating others, but from lifting them up. The moon watched from above, ancient and knowing. And the moon remembered. And the moon forgave. Epilogue, 5 years later. The scream cut through the night. Kale was on his feet instantly, alpha instincts roaring. Beside him, Mira moved just as fast, their mate bond letting them communicate without words. They burst into Lily's room together, ready for threats, for danger, for whatever had made their daughter cry out. But Lily wasn't in danger. She was standing at her window, 9 years old now and already showing signs of the powerful wolf she'd become. Silver light glowed around her hands, but gentle. Controlled. The result of 5 years of training with the historian and practice with her gifts. Lily? Mira approached carefully. What's wrong, baby? Nothing's wrong. Lily turned to them, and her smile was radiant. Everything's right. I had a vision, and I needed to show you, to show everyone. She raised her hands, and silver light filled the room. Images appeared, not threatening, but beautiful. The kingdom 5 years from now. 10 years. 20. Each vision showing growth, healing, wolves living together in ways they never had before. Packs cooperating across territories. Rogues finding homes. Omegas leading councils. Alphas learning to share power. And at the center of it all, new children being born. Children with true blood Luna power. Children with prime alpha genes. Children who would continue what the Triad had started. This is what we're building, Lily said softly. This is what the silver light showed me. We're not just changing the kingdom. We're changing what it means to be wolf. That's a heavy burden for one little girl, Kale said, pulling his daughter into a hug. Good thing she's not alone, Mira added, joining the embrace. And good thing I'm not that little anymore. Lily laughed. Papa, I'm almost as tall as Mama now. Don't remind me. You're growing up too fast. They stood there, the three of them, wrapped in silver light and love and the promise of a better future. Outside, another scream echoed through the night. But this time, it wasn't fear. It was a child, a rogue's child who'd been brought to the palace dying from silver poisoning. A child Lily had been healing for weeks, slowly and patiently, teaching his own body how to fight the toxin. And now that child was screaming with joy because he'd taken his first steps in weeks. Because he was healing. Because he had a future. Lily's head lifted, her attention drawn to that sound. I should go check on him. Make sure the healing is holding. It's the middle of the night, Mira protested. Healing doesn't have a schedule, Mama. You taught me that. Lily was already heading for the door. Besides, I promised him I'd be there when he walked again. Promises matter. She disappeared down the hallway, silver light trailing behind her like stardust. Kale and Mira stood in the empty room, listening to their daughter's footsteps fade. We raised a force of nature, Kale said. We raised a Luna, Mira corrected. Which is the same thing, really. Are you happy? He turned to her, gold eyes searching. This life, this chaos, this constant work to change a kingdom that doesn't always want to be changed, are you happy? Mira thought about the Omega she'd been 5 years ago. Terrified. Alone. Scrubbing floors in a neutral zone tavern and hoping no one noticed her or her strange daughter. She thought about the woman she was now. Alpha Queen. Luna. Mother to the most powerful wolf alive. Mate to a king who'd learned that strength and mercy weren't opposites but partners. Yes, she said simply. I'm happy. Are you? More than I ever thought possible. He pulled her close, and the mate bonds sang between them. You and Lily, you're everything I didn't know I needed. Everything I didn't think I deserved. You deserve it. Mira kissed him, soft and sure. We all do. Even the broken ones. Especially the broken ones. In the distance, the rogue child laughed, pure, bright, unafraid. And the moon watched over them all, remembering every broken thing that had learned to heal, forgiving every darkness that had chosen to seek light. The old prophecies had spoken of a true-blood Luna who would either destroy the kingdoms or save them. They'd been wrong. Lily hadn't destroyed anything. She'd shown wolves how to save themselves. And that, the moon reflected, was the greatest power of all. The end. The moon remembers, and the moon forgives. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe, like and share this video to continue listening to this type of story daily and also, to appreciate this community too. I would like to hear your wonderful opinion about this story. Please comment below.